Okay, so we're just going live. Wait for people to join.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, let's start. So today we have Annalie presenting an IELTS reading webinar, True, False, Not Given, and Matching Headings. My name's Terence. I'm based at Integrated Education Group in London, and this webinar is for IELTSonlinetest.com. Okay, Annalie is a very experienced IELTS teacher and examiner. She's been in the TEFL industry for over 25 years, and she's one of our frequent webinar presenters. So I shall pass to you, Annalie.
Okay, thank you very much, Terence. Hi, everybody. Say hi in the chat. Tell us where you're from. Yeah, and that's great if you're doing panelists and attendees, and then everybody can see your answer. Hi, everyone. Hi, Mirza. It's good to see people coming back that we've seen before. Okay. As Terence said, today we're looking at the reading. And actually, although the reading is different for academic and general training in some ways, everything here is relevant to both of them, okay? So it doesn't matter which module you're doing, you will always have true, false, not given questions. You will always have matching headings questions, okay? Hi, great. Some Saudi, and we've got India, we've got Kazakhstan, Cambodia. That's fantastic. So there's three things we're going to look at today. As Terence said, so we've got two specific exercises we're looking at, and those are the ones that generally come up as being the more difficult ones or the kind of tricky ones. Hi, Bablu. But we're also going to have a look at a more general reading strategy, which is skimming, which helps you in a lot of ways to speed up your reading. Okay, so let's go into this in a bit more detail. So there's three main types of reading skill that we use when we're doing the IELTS. Does anybody know what those different reading skills are? Okay, very good, Amina. So reading for details, also Ranjini, skimming. Okay, very good, Amina. Scanning as well. Okay. So if we have a look here, we've got skimming, scanning, and reading for details. Very good, Susan. So when we say skimming, what do we mean by skimming? What's that? What kind of skill is that? Okay, very good. It's I Love IELTS. That's a great name. Yeah, so you're looking, or Andrea, hello, nice to see you again. You're looking for what we call the gist or the overall idea. Yeah, so it's a very quick general read. What are we looking for? How about, yes, grasping the idea quickly, Isa, that's very nice. How about scanning? What do we mean when we say scanning? Okay, very good, Karen. Yeah, so we're looking through for specific keywords, okay, or specific information. Yeah, it's very fast. It's almost not really reading at all. It's just looking for certain words. Okay, yeah, very good. And what about reading carefully? How about that? What does that mean? I guess it's fairly clear. Yes, thank you, Carla. Reading carefully means reading carefully. So generally after the first two skills, or particularly after scanning, you need to read carefully, but that means a little bit before the keywords, a little bit after the keywords, and that is going to tell you exactly what the answer is. Yeah, so exactly, Pali, it's looking for the specific detail. What exactly are they saying? Okay. We'll have a look at that in a minute, Shrist, about the order in terms of the question or the passage. So we will come down to that. Okay. So you're generally going to use a combination of probably two of these skills in all of the exercises in IELTS, different combinations depending on the exercise, okay? But for now, we're actually going to look at skim reading specifically and how you can use it, okay? So it's helpful before you start doing any of the activities, any of the exercises, to have a very general idea of what the passage is about and where certain parts of the passage are, okay? That's actually going to speed up your finding when it comes to later on, okay? So just a little bit of information here. So as I said, general overview of the passage, no more than a couple of minutes, probably slightly less than that, okay? You're actually just looking for certain aspects of the passage. But as I said, this is going to make it faster later on for you to find your detail, okay? So critical at the beginning, obviously, read the title and any subheadings. Exactly, I love IELTS. What is the subject? Are there any subheadings? Sometimes there's a diagram and a picture as well. So if you look at that, that's also going to give you some very general idea of what we are talking about. So here we've got the first two paragraphs from the reading passage that we are going to look at for our true, false, not given exercise. So what kinds of subjects do you think we're going to be looking at in this passage? Give me some sort of keywords. What are we looking at? What type of writing? If you look just at the title. Okay, yeah, so okay, Ala, exactly, that's what I'm looking at. So this is going to be a history article. We're looking at a specific period of time in history. We're looking at a specific artifact from history. Okay, good, we've got the location. We're going back a long way. So immediately, you know, starting to get an idea of what you're going to read about in this passage. Okay, it's almost like kind of just preparing your way. Yeah, archaeology, history, those are the kind of words that should be coming up in your mind when you're looking at that title. Okay, so it will give you the topic, and you know, you might get an idea of how that's going to be organized. Okay, so very, very important right at the beginning. Okay, so we've had a look at the title. Then you can also skim read the exercises, okay? So before you go into the detail of getting the answers, you can skim read to find key information, okay? This is not about, just a minute, hi, this is not about finding the answers at the moment. This is about finding some keywords which are going to help speed up your location of finding the answers later on. Exactly, I love IELTS. It's only about locating. It's not about getting the answers at the moment. There can be a picture high in the reading passage. It's quite common. Probably depends on the topic. If it's about maybe a specific species of animal that maybe you don't know the name, you know, that's not going to be a very common word in English. So you get the picture of the animal, so you know what we're talking about, you know, from the picture rather than from knowing the name of the animal. So it's really just going to depend. Yeah. Okay. We'll come to the reading of the questions in a minute. Keywords are going to be in the questions. They're not going to be particularly in the title. The title is just going to give you an overview. Okay, so we look at the questions. So what do we look at first? What kind of exercises are we going to have to do in this type of passage? Okay, so we look here very quickly. True, false, not given. Okay. Come into keywords in a minute, Sarusha. Yeah, everybody's getting ahead of me. So what's the type of exercise first? Okay. And then look very quickly for some obvious keywords, very obvious keywords here. So that's going to be names of people, names of places, dates, proper nouns generally because they have capitals, so they're very, very easy to find. But again, yes, there's some good words coming up there. Anything kind of unusual like skeletons or grave goods, that's very specific information. It's not likely to be a synonym, they're likely to be using the same word. Then that's going to be an easy to find in the passage. Okay. So in number 1, what would you say is the main keywords in number 1? Okay, in the first one. Yeah, grave goods definitely are going to be important here. I think also, yeah, written records of grave goods. Think about the kinds of words that are very specific that are going to help you find the right place and are going to help you differentiate this piece of information from other pieces of information. So for example, discovered, that's probably going to come up quite a lot in a passage about archaeology. So that might not help you that much, but written records and grave goods are likely to be only talked about in one small area. Okay, so keep it to those words that are going to help you find the location. Remember, it's all about location at the moment. Okay, how about number 2? What do you think would be the key words? Okay, yes, so very clearly, Anyang, we've got a place here that's going to be very easy to find in the passage. And skeletons, as we said, that's probably going to be easy to find as well. But even just Anyang tomb would be enough, okay? Remember, this is just about finding the information, okay? Oops, I'm ahead of you there. So in the second one, yeah, I think that's a bit obvious. Terracotta army, again, capital letters, name, easy to find in the passage. Okay. And the last one, okay, yeah, Shun's ahead of us. King Tutankhamun. And what else? Okay, okay, and the Qin Emperor. We've got any Chinese kind of people here, you can correct my spelling and my pronunciation. So those, again, we've got capital letters, we've got names, we've got things that are easy to find. So remember, this is just the keywords that are easy to find. It's not about the specific information keywords that are going to help you answer the question at the moment. Okay. So have a very quick look at the question types and make a quick note of any very obvious keywords in the sentences. Okay. Then another very useful way to get a good idea of what's in the passage, first of all, so content, and also how it's organized, okay? And that is topic sentences. So topic sentences is something we talk about a lot in IELTS. It comes up in the writing a lot as well. So this is really going to help you get your information more quickly, okay? So you read the topic sentence. What is the topic sentence? Anyone, can you tell me what the topic? Yes, it's the first sentence in each paragraph, okay? So, yeah, and sometimes it can be the last one. They are the light in our darkness, you're absolutely right. That's very true. Okay, so if you just have a very quick look at the topic sentence, that's going to help you to work out what the main idea of that topic is, and you know, of how then we're going to find the information later on, okay? And also what we can do is then underline those keywords, those kind of places and names that we saw in the exercises, okay? So that's why you have a look at the exercises first. You just not to know what, you know, you're going to have to look for, but just to look for some keywords and find them in the passage, okay? So as we said, first sentence is the topic sentence. Looking very quickly there, can you see any keywords that we saw in our exercise on the true, false, not given? Okay, good. Very clearly, An Yang really stands out there. So that's something that we can see. And as we go through, we'll see all of those others. Yeah, and we've got grave goods as well. Okay, so we can see An Yang. So we can see that if we're looking at the first paragraph, we're thinking about the time period specifically. Okay, that's our focus, is the time period according to the dynasty. Whereas if we look at B, we are looking at a specific tomb now. So we've changed our focus slightly. Okay, so again, we've got An Yang, and again, we've got grave goods, these very specific, almost technical words. Those are going to be easy to find, and they're usually not going to be synonyms. Yeah, if that is the name for it. Okay. Another very, very important thing to do, this is particularly important for the matching headings exercise, okay, is to summarize the paragraphs in your own words, okay? This means that you detach yourself from being dependent on the words in the paragraph. Okay, and this really helps your brain kind of open up and then see the differences, see the synonyms, see the paraphrases, and not be so fixated on individual words that come up. That's one of the real key problems with the reading, is, you know, being stuck on particular vocabulary instead of looking at the idea. Okay, so thinking of things, you know, putting things in your own words, paraphrasing yourself, is really going to help you find those paraphrases in the reading passage. So what are we, I already kind of talked about this, so what are we really looking at in paragraph A? If you had to just put that in your own words, in a couple of words, what would we talk about there? Yeah, okay, so we're talking about a specific time period. It's quite general, talking about those ruins. Yeah, so it's the Shang dynasty that we're talking about. And then if we look down at paragraph B, now, what are we talking about? Yes, okay, this particular tomb, I think it was a military general, but now we're focusing on one specific tomb. Okay, so we know anything related to the Shang dynasty is probably going to be in the first paragraph. Anything related that's, you know, about Fu Hao is going to be in the second paragraph. Okay, all right, so let's have a look at this one. So if we just look at the topic sentence only here, what are we going to be looking at in C? What is our topic here? Yes, okay, so now we've moved on to the terracotta army. And some findings, but the terracotta army is the key word that we're looking at there, because that's going to come up in some of the questions. Okay, probably in all of the exercises there'll be something about the terracotta army. Qin Emperor, yeah, is also there as well, so that's the kind of thing that you can highlight. Okay, any keywords there that we looked at when we were looking at our sentences? Okay, yeah, so we've also got Tutankhamun. Okay, and we've also got the Qin Emperor, we've got the terracotta army. Okay, so basically if you find some keywords in the exercises and just highlight them, then find some keywords in the passage, then finding the information, locating the information from the question to the passage is going to be a lot easier. Basically, you've got a set of highlighted keywords in your exercise and a set of highlighted keywords in your reading passage, and then you're transferring across. So it doesn't take you so much time. Actually going to save you a lot of time. okay, because it's looking for the information which takes the time. Yeah, not so much answering the question, but it's people reading through very carefully, very slowly, instead of going bum bum, terracotta army there, terracotta army there. Okay, fantastic. I can just look across this. Yeah, okay. It's just got to find that way of doing it. Okay, this works for all of the different questions. Okay, this is not related to any specific type of exercise. This is a general strategy to do at the beginning to just find the information quickly. Okay, think of it as having two sets of information. You've highlighted the keywords in each one, so then you can transfer from one to the other much more quickly, okay? And you also know what the topic of the paragraph is, which again is going to find, you're going to find the information much more quickly, okay? Coming to matching headings now, Deanne, okay? All right, so let's just move on from that. So we're talking about the terracotta army in C, okay? So just to review that and put that together, okay? So a couple of minutes, really, this does not take longer than a couple of minutes, and it helps you for the whole exercise, the whole passage, which remember is about 20 minutes. So it's not percentage-wise, it's not very much, okay? And it gives you a main idea of the passage. It gives you the main idea of each paragraph, and it helps you locate some very obvious keywords. I really want to stress obvious keywords. You're not searching for everything. Names, dates, places, very specific technical words. That's all you could possibly be looking for, nothing more than that. Okay. And those are the ways that we do it. So the title, skim reading the title, skim reading the question, skim reading the topic sentence, and highlighting those keywords that we found in the exercises. Okay. All right. So that is just a general strategy, but it's very important to have that strategy correct to save you time later on. Okay, so true, false, not given, and matching headings is exactly what we're going to look at now. So it will always look like this, okay? You'll have your reading passage, your task. They give their definition, not that helpful of a definition of true, false, not given. And then you have a list of statements, usually 4 or 5 statements, okay? And remember, you've already got your keywords highlighted, okay? So we already know exactly where we're going to be looking for this information, okay? So this is true, false, not given. In some cases, you will see yes, no, not given. So can anyone tell me what the difference is between true, false, not given and yes, no, not given? When do we use one? Okay, very good, Hamada. So true, false, not given. Okay, good, everybody's there. That's a factual passage. So you will have some passages which are just facts, and then it will be true, false, not given, okay? If you have a passage, often passage 3, which is actually somebody giving their opinion on something, then it will be down as yes, no, not given, okay? No, you can't. So the strategy is the same, the exercise is the same, but if you write yes when it should be true, it will be wrong, okay? So don't confuse them in terms of how you put the answers. You must put the right format, okay? So a lot of people say, oh yeah, true, false, not given, yes or no. That's the same, isn't it? I just put whatever I like. No, okay? You have to put the one that is in the exercise, okay? So let's have a look at this in more detail. Okay, so yeah, facts versus opinions. Okay. So all you need to write on the answer is, for example, TFNG. okay, or YNNG, but do not confuse them. Make sure that you are using the right one, okay? Okay, so again, we've got our keywords. Yes, we're coming to that and go. It is in the same order. So we've already got our keywords. If it's a name or something technical, it's very likely that it's going to be exactly the same in the passage. So you're just looking for the same information. Something that is not so technical, it's a more general vocabulary, you'll be looking for synonyms, okay, or changes of word formation or something like that, okay. But these words we've highlighted, they're going to be the same, okay. So we've got our keywords here, so let's go through bit by bit, okay, and see how it works, okay. So we already found grave goods when we were looking before, because that's very specific. Okay, so we've got that keyword, but we've also written records is also quite important, quite specific there. So can you find a place where grave goods and something like written records is in the same area? Whoa, hold on, don't go ahead of yourself. Let's find, where are we going to look? Yeah, okay, so we've got grave goods, we've got record. Okay, yeah, we've got oracle texts as well, which again, texts, records, very similar. Yeah, so we know we're looking down in this area. Okay, end of paragraph B. Okay, okay. So now that we've found the right place in the passage, we need to then read carefully. So this is the reading for detail or reading carefully section, okay, to find out whether it's true, false, or not given. Okay, very good, guys. You're doing very well. Yeah, so is it the same? Is it different? Is it not given? As everyone's got here, and this tends to be the easiest one, it's true, okay? And confirmed is the key word, because confirmed, proved to be accurate, synonyms of each other, okay? So the other part of the statement, not the keywords that you've used to find the information, but the other part of the statement, that is going to be where you get your paraphrase, and the paraphrase is what is going to tell you if it's true or false or not given, okay? So that's where you get your reading for detail information, okay? That's really, really important. Yeah, texts are written, the oracle is the type of temple, but again, this is not something that you need to know the meaning of. If you can see that texts are written records, then the rest of it is not really important, okay? All right, let's have a look at the second one. So there was a question earlier on about the order. So it's always in the same order, okay? So once you've got to one stage and you've found that information, so we've got confirmed by oracle text, you only need then to move on from that point. You're never going to go back, okay? So once you get that bit, you can cross off that part of the article, and you can make sure that you have moved on, okay? Right, so we need to move on to the next question. So we found human skeletons. We're still talking about Anyang, so we know we're still in the same area, okay? So let's have a look directly after the bit that we looked at before. Okay, hello, hi Mohammed, how are you doing? So we can see here that we've got skeletons, we've got human, slightly different. Ooh, think about it, think about it. Okay, and now we have to work out by reading carefully, okay, to understand the meaning. So in the statement, how were the people killed? let's think about it first. How were the people killed in the statement? In what situation? Okay, good. Koala, they were killed in a war. If we look at the passage, were the people killed in a war? Okay, good. No, they were killed by sacrifice. Is that the same thing, war and sacrifice? Are they synonyms of each other? No, they're not synonyms of each other. You can't be killed in a war and sacrificed at the same time, okay? So the answer is false, yeah. Also, similarly, they talk about soldiers, and here they talk about slaves. So the answer must be false. It's false on two different facts. So it can't possibly be anything other than false. Okay. So we have contradictory information there, and that's the really key thing with the false. For it to be false, it has to be two things that contradict each other. They cannot be true at the same time, okay? Got war, you got sacrifice, they're different, it's false. It would have to be, for example, battle would be a synonym for war. So if it said battle, then you could say it's true. Those are synonyms that mean the same thing. But here they are definitely, they can't possibly both be true at the same time, okay? Well, it's all traps if you think about it like that. But it's also, you're looking at language here. That's all you're looking at. Just war, sacrifice, nothing else, okay? Soldiers, slaves, different, okay? So who's here? So yeah, we got soldiers and we got slaves, we've got killed in war, and we've got human sacrifice. We have contradictory information, okay? I'll come to not given in a minute, yeah? Okay, so let's move on to the third one. So again, we've already done our skim reading, so we already know where we need to look for the terracotta army, okay? So it was discovered by people who lived nearby. There's a bit of a typo there. Okay, very good, guys. You're moving on ahead of this one. Okay, so we've got the soldiers, we've got the terracotta army. So we know we're looking in this area. Okay, then we're looking for synonyms, so words that mean the same, but they're explained in a different way. So what are the synonyms here? You're all right, very good, it's true. Okay, very nice, Amina. We've got accidentally and we've got by chance. Exactly the same meaning, just a different way of expressing it. We've also got people who lived nearby, and we've got local. Exactly. Okay, so again, synonyms, meaning is the same. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. Yeah, so there's two types of keywords. This is really important. There's the keywords that help you to locate the information, and then there's the keywords which give you the answer, which are always in the form of synonyms. Okay, and they will have the same meaning or they will have a different meaning. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. Okay, so again, we've already got our keywords. We found Tutankhamun, we found the Qin Emperor. Okay, yeah, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Okay, very good. So now we're looking for the keyword that gives us the answer in the statement, and that's going to be bigger. Okay, so that's the only other word that's going to give us some information. And size. So we're talking about size. Okay, very good, guys. Yeah. So this is not given, because although it talks about the numbers of the chariots, it talks about the numbers of the horses, but it does not give you any comparison of size exactly. I love IELTS. There is no comparison of the size of the tomb. Okay, yeah, don't confuse the size of the chariots with the size of the tomb. The tomb is what we're talking about now. Okay. So, and it's very, very common in the not given to have comparatives. Okay. The chariots is like the vehicle, if I can put it that way. You have horses in front. The soldiers are in the chariot. It's got big wheels, and it goes along. Okay. So not given means that it could be true. We don't know. Okay. So it's not the same information. It's not contradictory information. It's just different information. Okay. It could be bigger. I can't say that it's smaller. It's definitely not telling me that it's smaller than the Qin emperors. It's not telling me that it's bigger than the Qin emperors. It's just not giving me any information on that. Okay. Yeah, if you like, it's unclear. To be honest, not given means it's not clear, or I don't know. So what you need to do is to ask yourself, could it be true? Okay. And if the answer is, it could be true, I don't know, then you've got to put not given. Okay. If it's false, then exactly the opposite information, the contradictory information, is in the passage. Okay. All right. Can you stop advertising, Capel, please? Do you mind while I'm doing this? It's not really appropriate quite here, okay? So it compares the number of soldiers and chariots, but it does not talk about size, okay? So we cannot say if it's true or not. Okay, I will explain again because this is really important, but we also need to move on to matching headings. Okay, so you have to compare the information in the statement and in the passage. If the information is exactly the same, but it's written using paraphrasing, using different words, then it's true, okay? If the information in the statement and the information in the passage are contradictory, that means that they cannot both be true. They cannot both be true. One of them has to be wrong, okay? Then you put false, all right? If the information in the statement and the information in the passage can both be true, but we don't know whether they are the same or different, then it is not given. Okay, the information is different. It's not contradictory, it's just different. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's you can say it's information not found, but I don't think that helps people, because everyone says, well, it does say something about that. Don't think about it that way. Think about, could it be true? I don't know if it's true or not, so therefore I'm going to put not given. Okay, that's the important thing. If they could both be true, they're both looking slightly different things, then you are going to put not given. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's summarize this before we go on to the matching headings. We've got a bit of time. So underline the keywords in the question. Okay, you've done this originally. You found the keywords, which are the location keywords. Then you find the other words in the statement, which are going to tell you where the answer, and then they're going to be the synonyms. Okay, find the information, read it very carefully, compare the information in the statement and the information in the passage. Are they the same? Are they contradictory? Or are they just different pieces of information? Okay, same, true, contradictory, false, different information, not given. Okay. Number 6 is really, really important. Okay. Very frequently you will find in the true, false, not given questions, words like the majority of, the minority of, everybody, nobody, these kind of quantifiers, bigger than, smaller than, so using comparatives, always, frequently, never. Those are actually really important words in the true, false, not given, because those are the ones where they're tricking you, you know. So saying that everybody does something is not the same as saying that most people do it. Okay, so be very, very careful about that. Okay, and make sure you're writing yes, no, not given, or true, false, not given, and you're not mixing them up. You won't get it right. Okay. All right, let's have a look now at matching headings. So to have a look at the example here, so you get the task, you get a list of headings, you get your passage, and then we have our answer sheet. Okay. There are always more headings than there are paragraphs. So you're not going to use all of the headings. Okay. You just write the Roman numeral. So you see where it's like I, and then 2 I's, and then 3 I's. Don't write out the full heading. It's not necessary. It's going to waste a lot of time. Okay. So just the Roman numeral like this. These are not the answers, by the way. Okay. That's just examples. So how do we do the matching headings? Okay, so you can have a quick look through the headings just to get an idea of what they're talking about. You don't have to do that. You go to paragraph A. Okay, you read the whole thing through, so you're skim reading all of it, and then you put it in your own words. This is really, really, really important. You've got to break yourself free from the words in the passage. So just decide the subject of this is, give it your own heading, okay? Then you compare your heading with the headings that are given, and then you find the one that matches the closest, okay? That's the way to do it, okay? If you just compare, you're going to get confused. You know, there's going to be words that are going to lead you to think it's one thing when it's not. So really, really important, summarize it in your own words and then go to the headings and read down the headings. If you're not sure, move on, because then it's probable that a later paragraph will give you a specific answer. So you might, you know, say, oh, I'm not sure about between 1 and 2, but then later on you're like, oh, that's definitely 2 there, so I can go back and I can put 1 at that point, okay? Because I don't need, I think that the best thing to do is to go to the paragraph first, read it, summarize it in your own word, then look at the headings. That means that you won't be prejudiced by the head. You won't be tempted by the headings. Okay, you've already got an idea in your own mind. Okay, but don't spend. I mean, this is true about all of the exercises. Don't spend hours and hours on if you're not sure, because you're just wasting time. Just keep moving on. Okay. All right. So let's have a look. So if we look at paragraph A, and we're talking about, what kinds of things are we talking about in A? Don't give me the answer, but tell me what kind of topic are we talking about in A? If you had to put that in your own words, what would you say? I know you may have the answer, but what's it talking about? Okay, good. It's talking about data, and it's talking about, the numbers going up and down. Okay, we talk about a drop and then we talk about a peak. Okay, so very good. Those who have already got it, the answer is 2. Okay, we've got fluctuations, which is a word that we use to describe graph movement. You're probably using it in your task ones. And we've got words that also describe graph movement in our A. And that's the key area. It's not a detail, it's actually what the whole thing is about. Okay, so fluctuations, peak, falling to, those kind of things. Okay, so we've got rid of that one. That one's pretty clear. Let's move on to the second one. Let's not put the answer up. So have a look at the B. Anybody know what a bittern is, by the way? This is where you would probably have a picture to help you. tell you what a bittern is. it's a bird. It's a bird. Yes, right. But again, it is a bit like a chicken. Yeah, it is a bit like a chicken. Okay, very good, Cyril. So we're beginning to calculate the numbers. Okay, so there's some kind of starting going on there, talking about certainty. Okay, very good. Okay, so if we look at our key, so our first challenge. So first challenge, beginning. Again, you're just finding, you know, these the same information. Then we've got numbers, we've got count. So we've got lots of synonyms for calculate and for numbers, okay? Monitoring would be, yeah, you monitor in order to find out the numbers, yeah, in this sense, not necessarily always, okay? We can move on quite quickly here because we've not got much time left. So how about C? If you looked at C, be careful with this one. This is a bit of a tricky one. Okay, think about what are we really looking at here. Remember, topic sentences usually give you the, yeah, this one is a bit tricky. So this would be one of the ones where you might want to note down 2 of them and then come back afterwards when you were more sure. Okay, so I think you've got 1, and you know, some people are also looking at yeah, so at 7. Yeah, but the answer is 1. Okay, because it's not so specific as to be talking about the reed birds, but it is talking about habitat. It does actually mention the word habitat. It talks about breeding, and it says, based on this work, broad recommendations, bum, 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 bum. Oh, they've done some research, and then they've made some decisions on the research. That's how I would summarize it. And we've got words like funding, project, findings, research. These are all words that, you know, belong in the same area. Okay, yeah, research, recommendation, project are all words that go together. Okay, so we can get rid of that one. Okay, and then what about D? Okay, what are we talking about here? There's a word that comes up again and again and again through here. Okay, good, June. Yes, so we are looking at the reed beds here. Okay, oh, sorry. Yeah, so it comes up how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4 times they mentioned the word reed bed. So this is not a detail of the paragraph. This is the overall topic of the paragraph. Okay, and I think probably if I was doing this, I would probably, you know, be not sure for C. I think, well, it's probably I, but it might be, or it's probably 1, it might be 7. But then when I come to the next paragraph, I'm sure this is 7, so I can go back and be certain that C is 1. If you're not sure, make a note of the ones you think it is, and then move on, and then later paragraphs will probably help you. Okay, so that is that one, and then we've got 2 more. So have a look at this one. Okay, we've only got 4 left now. What is paragraph E talking about? Okay, very good. Cyril's very much on top of it. Okay, so don't be you know, trapped by the fact that it mentions chicks. Okay, that's not really, that's detail, that's not the overview. Okay, we are talking about diet, we're talking about starvation. Okay, and we're talking about what happens when they don't get enough food. Okay, I'll just give you the last one because we're coming to the end. Okay, so we talk about protection. We've got words like secure, sustainable, vulnerable, suitable. So all of the words related to protection. Okay, and that's a bittern. If you weren't sure, that's what a bittern looks like. Okay, I'll just move through that. I'll just give that up. Okay, so Shall we take some questions, Terence?
Yeah, sure. So I'm just looking in the Q&A section. I didn't even know what a bitten was, by the way. So I'm very impressed that some of the students knew what
Me
that was.
too, me too. It's not an easy word, is it?
Yeah. First question we've got here, a question from Amina. If the question will ask to write yes, no, can you use true or false instead?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. You need to be accurate. If it's yes, no, not given, write yes, no, not given, or YN, not NG.
Yep.
If it's true, false, not given, write those. They will not mark them right because the examiner has a key and they have to follow that key. They don't have any ability to make their own judgments about it. If it's not in the key, they can't mark it right, and it won't be in the key if it's the different one.
Great. A question from Yash. I make a lot of mistakes in matching heading questions. Any advice on how to improve this?
Mainly people are making mistakes because they're confusing the detail with the overall idea, okay? And also that looking for just actually matching words rather than, you know, thinking about what does it mean. So this is why I would say just look at the paragraph, read it in your own words, summarize it in your own words, and then find what matches, okay? And be very wary about just thinking about keywords or detail. That's where you're going to get confused. Okay.
Can we write true or T in the answer sheet?
Yeah, you can write T, F, and NG. That's completely fine.
Right. Okay. Question here from Manmeet. Is it necessary that the answer lies in the first two and last two lines of the paragraphs while finding headings?
It's more of an overview, but the topic sentence generally tells you the topic of the paragraph. Obviously, that's why it's called topic sentence. So, you know, that's going to give you more information, but I would not read only the topic sentence. I would read the whole thing, skim read it, and just, you know, summarize it in your own words. That's really the key information here.
Okay, we got a couple of questions about the online, the computer-based IELTS test. Are you familiar with that?
I set it up in Kenya, actually.
Okay, great.
A long time ago.
So here we go. So we've got a question. Is there an answer sheet in the computer-based test to transfer answers? And then a second one here that says, is there a paper and pen? And then is there as another question, can we highlight the key words on the paragraph in the real IELTS exam? Sorry, that one's not about computer based.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, in terms of the computer based, everything is on the computer. Okay, absolutely everything. The reading, listening, and writing, the passage is there, the questions are there, and the answer sheet is there on. So it's pure online work. There is no, you're not looking at it on the computer and then writing your answers. You're doing everything on the computer. So there's no other part of it that is written that it involves paper. Okay.
Okay. Question from Allah. I have my test this Saturday. How do I take more reading practice? How do I know if I'm ready or not? Well, I would suggest, Allah, to take as many tests on the website, IELTSonlinetest.com, as you can before that time. I guess you're not going to know if you're ready until you actually take it and find out your score. But the answers that you'll get on the website will give you an indication of your band score. Okay. I'm just looking through some more questions here. From Shrist, as we know, the headings are in a pattern, so we need to go back talking about the headings there. Does that make sense to you, Annalie?
Not quite sure what you're saying.
Okay.
I mean, because it's matching headings, there's not going to be, I mean, they can't be in the right order. So But in terms of how you answer it, I would say you start with paragraph A, summarize it, find the heading, move down to paragraph B. So you're going to be working through the headings one by one, but obviously the headings themselves are not going to be in the right order. It's not possible.
Yeah. A question, I'll take a final question here from Masood. Can you please clarify the difference between YNNG and TFNG?
Okay, TFNG is used when the passage is based on facts. So is it a true fact or a false fact? And yes, no, not given is based on a passage where there is an opinion, which is given by the author. And yes would be, does it agree with the author's opinion? No, it's contradictory to the author's opinion. And not given is the same, that, you know, it could be true, but we don't, the information is not there for us to say. Okay.
Okay, great. So there's lots of questions that we don't have time to answer. However, we do have a question and answer session every week in the webinar. So please attend our future webinars and make sure you ask your question early, because the earlier you ask it, the more chance we have to answer it. And also you can email questions to our email address, which is hi@ieltsonlinetest.com. And we're now actually starting a video series on YouTube, and I'll put the YouTube link in the chat. And we'll be answering some short questions on our YouTube channel as well, so please subscribe there. Okay, so thank you very much to Annalie today. Fantastic session.
Thanks,
please support the website. So we do have a few paid services on the website, and if you can't afford the paid services, then please just share the website with your friends. Okay, thank you everyone for your time, and see you next time.
Good luck, everyone. Bye.
And good luck everyone in your test. Bye bye.
Good luck. Bye. Cheers.